What's good, people? It's your boy Pete from PFM Fit. We are back behind the camera. Been a little while, I know, but got a little exciting news. Your boys graduated. We now have a master's degree, and that is what was preoccupying a lot of my spare time that I like to put towards videos. Had to take a short little sabbatical, but we're done now. We're done with college too, fortunately. Not going for the doctorate or the PhD, if you will. But what are we talking about today? Enough about me. Let's talk about me here. We're talking about my bench program. Bench press PR strategies. I'll roll a clip for you in a second here. I finally hit a lifetime bench press PR, 276 pounds. You heard me, 276 pounds. We hit a 1 pound PR after about 2 years of hitting 275 for the first time. Because we did a recomp cut, and then it took us a while to get back on the bulk train. We are on the bulk train now, over 200 pounds, averaging like 203 to 205 pounds at around workout time after a couple meals in. But today, we're going to be talking about the few bench press strategies that I've devised that I'm going to use to keep PRing consistently all throughout this year and until I hit a 315 bench. That is the goal. We are starting the road to 315 bench press, people. It's 40 pounds away, 39 pounds actually now, because we are 1 pound closer. That's how I'm tracking this. By the pound, okay? By the half pound even, all right? So we are 39 pounds away from a 315 bench, which I have wanted ever since I got a 225 pound bench, all right? I can't think of anything I've wanted more. 405 deadlift, 500 pound deadlift, 315 squat, Like, none of those numbers, even though those same numbers, do it for me like they do on the bench press specifically. So, that's obviously the goal. Always has been. Always will be until we get it. And then it'll probably be 400, 405. Imagine. But anyways, let's get cracking here. Right into strat number 1, which is, speaking of all these PRs, it's going to be always PRing. All right, let me show you this right here. All right, people. What do I have in my hands? These are micro plates right here. Micro plates. Get a good look, you can see them. What we have here is 0.25 pounds, 0.5 pounds, 0.75 pounds, and 1 pound plates that we can put on each side. This allows us to do everything from a half a pound PR, which is still a PR and would be enjoyed all the same as any other PR, and we can go all the way up to a 4.5 pound PR to break the traditional standard of having to do a 5 pound jump, because the smallest plate I had in my gym up until I got those micro plates was merely 2.5 pound plates on each side. So that's a 5 pound jump. And when you're getting technical, when you're getting into the 1 rep max zone, the 100% or RPE 11 zone, a pound matters, a pound or two matters. 5 pounds is a big difference compared to, 280 to 285 is a big difference. 275 to 280 is a big difference. But 275 to 276, not a huge difference, actually. It felt like 275, I'll be honest. And we got it up. So the plan utilizing the microplates is to basically always PR. Even when it's a week, like not just in the 1 rep max sense, but even in the working weight sense, even when it's a week where we're doing like our sets of 5 or our sets of 3, which we'll get into later with the program scheme I'm running right now. But when we're doing those weekly volume sets in the program, we'll use the micro plates for even on weeks where it's like, I don't think I can add 5 pounds, but let's add a pound each side. Let's add 2 pounds, and we'll see if we can get the reps with 2 pounds extra instead of 5 pounds. And then next week or 2 weeks when we get back to that rep range again, then we'll go for the 5 pounds. The point is to always PR and always do a little more weight, but I think the micro plates would almost be unnoticeable to the body. So that's kind of the plan, is to game the micro plates, and for not just for bench press, of course. I feel like this would be super useful because I'm going to experiment on all kinds of lifts, like preacher curl, because I really want to get stronger on the preacher curl with easy curl bar, and that's a hard exercise to just add 5 pounds to as well, because 5 pounds feels vastly different, going from like 10 reps to 4 most likely. So if we add 1 pound or half a pound and then try and just get 10 reps again, probably doable. And then we'll just kind of game that all the way up till we have a respectable preacher curl. So anyways, let's roll a clip of the 276 pound bench press PR, just in case you missed it. I posted it as a short, and I just want any excuse on the planet to show it to anyone else who will watch it. So check that out. 1 pound PR.
Let's go. 1 pound. 1 pound.
All right, strategy 2, addition by subtraction. Why do I have a million colorful bands that I just made a mess of and tangled all together? No, it's not Carnival. No, I'm not trying to dress like a fancy parrot that can talk, that is red and rainbow colored. Why do we have these bands? It's very simple. We are powerlifting, and we are using what I'm kind of calling addition by subtraction as an intensity technique to help us PR and bench. So I'm using advantage lifts, that's the word, as opposed to disadvantage lifts. So you guys have seen, I recently bought a deficit bench press bar. Love that thing to death. It is so fun. But there's nowhere on planet Earth where you're lifting more weight with the deficit bar than you do on your regular bench press. It's a disadvantaged lift. You know, it's harder than the traditional bench press, which means you use less weight to improve strength of the bench press. However, I have a theory that the carryover by doing disadvantaged lifts that allow you to use less weight is not as helpful for 1 rep maxing as it is for more so hypertrophy and general bench press rep work. Whereas when it comes to 1 rep maxing, I think using advantaged lifts where I can use beyond 1 rep max weight and rep that, like a reverse banded bench press or a, check this out guys, a block press. I got this fancy block that I can invert at different angles on the barbell to give me different levels of ROM and stop it at different points on my chest, which is another one of my strategies, by the way, which we'll be discussing. But that's part of the advantage lifts. So the point is to use beyond maximal loading, not submaximal loading, beyond maximal loading for a few reasons. One, I think working with weights beyond my 1 rep max will make my 1 rep max feel lighter. Two, it's working up the tendons, the elbows, the wrists, the rotator cuff. It's working on holding and bracing with all that weight in the racked position. And if we don't have to go full ROM, we only have to go a couple inches or half of the range of motion, or we have band tension when the bar's on our chest to help give us that, to help take some of the burden off at the bottom, but we're still locking out basically the full weight of, 315 or 300 plus pounds. You unrack 275 for regular bench press, it all of a sudden feels very light. So that's going to be a whole video in itself about advantage versus disadvantage bench press lifts. I've been experimenting a lot with that because that's kind of my main theory for improving bench press, because I don't like to just spam just bench press. I like to bench normally once a week, and then I like to do an accessory, that is closely related to bench press. And typically it'll either be something along the lines of, a disadvantage lift or an advantage lift, or a standard variation like close grip bench, maybe some incline. I don't think it has too much carryover though. But anyways, that's essentially the plan for addition by subtraction, which is that we're going to go use beyond maximal bench press loads, beyond 276 pounds, so that 276 pounds, 280 pounds, all these actual bench press weights when we do normal bench press feel lighter in comparison. So that's basically the idea there, which I think is not necessarily anything new. I think powerlifters have been doing this for a while. It's just, I'm feeling ready to try it. So, and I think it's going to have some success because I just wasn't feeling the carryover towards the 1 rep max going up by doing disadvantaged bench press lifts. Like my close grip bench, it's my closest variation, but yet even increasing my close grip bench wasn't necessarily giving me an increased normal bench press. So I don't know. I think we got to try Advantage for a while, and so far it's working. We've made 1 pound of PR progress, but hopefully we'll have more to show for it than 1 pound. Anyways, let's get into strategy 3, which is the programming. First of all, we're going to be experimenting with programs, but actually sticking with them for at least a month, 2 months to see what the actual results are, because that's my biggest problem is I don't stick with the actual program and the training structure for the adequate amount of time to where I can actually ramp up and build and see the results, which I'm getting better at. I'm trying because I'm realizing that bro science maxing out every week is not really getting me towards my goals. Surprisingly enough, I mean, who would have figured you actually need to program and get intelligent at some point and stop just lifting like a caveman? So that's what we're trying to do because, as you can see, we already learned to read and write for the cause. I literally learned to read and write specifically for the gym. I didn't know how to do it before this, so that was part of it. So the next strategy is to work on our programming, stick to it, and right now I'm currently running 5, 3, 1, which is basically you do working sets with 5 reps 1 week, you do working sets with 3 reps for 1 week, a little heavier than the 5-rep sets, and then you do working sets with singles, or you do 1 single, like 1 rep max day on the 3rd week, and then some deload 3 and 5-rep sets, which is how I kind of do it. But right now that's working actually really good for me because I'm gradually building up from you get stronger at the 5 reps, you add 5 pounds to that and do 5, you add weight to that and do 5 reps with more weight. Same thing with the 3 reps. You're getting good at kind of all the ranges of medium high reps, low-ish reps, but still good work with the 3s. And then the singles is the actual 1 rep max training, which you can either just do some heavy singles for practice, close to your 1 rep max, like 90-95%, or you can just go for it, which right now I'm just going for it. But eventually, if I hit a plateau, I'll probably do some 95% single practices or like 99% singles. I'll try and use I'll use the microplate and get up to like 273 pounds or something, 274 pounds, and just do a bunch of singles or whatever, if I can. Or try and do something beyond it, like 277 or 278 for singles before we get 280. I don't know. Anyways, that is essentially the plan, with the goal being to dial in the volume in a few ranges, not just the volume of one exercise specifically, but the volume of the whole workout, okay? Because I basically went through a peak and now we're riding the mountain down. So the point is I found my peak of doing something like 10 exercises per workout, 3 sets per exercise with a few big compounds in there is kind of too much. Even when I'm just bodybuilding and doing more rep work, it was too much. That was the peak of 3 and 4 day a week total bodies. We figured that out. But now we're trying to figure out what the sweet spot is coming down from the peak to find right where we need to be with the amount of exercises, the amount of sets per exercise, and the overall volume and the split per week that not only maximizes achieving our goals of getting bigger, getting stronger, getting more jacked, and all that shit, but also helps us recover, which is the most important part of all of it. So we don't just get burned out, have CNS fatigue, and just be a zombie all day, which is where I was at for a little bit. And then, until I realized, oh, this is not good training. It's just overtraining, which is it's a good problem to have in a sense, but many people don't have that problem, which is good. But it's still a problem. It means you got to work on it. You got to figure it out, which is what we're doing, which leads me right into Strat 4, which is where I replaced almost all my chest accessory work with free weight or no, it's not free weight, body weight movements. Because I feel like, for some reason, body weight movements like dips and push-ups actually do kind of carry over to bench press pretty good in terms of lockout and in terms of building the general movement patterns. But at the same time, they're also super easy to do. I don't even need to warm up for them. So after I've done bench press, I can just cram out like 3 or 4 sets of like 15, 20 push-ups, and I get so much free volume in. I don't even have to ramp up and do, dumbbell incline bench, weighted dips, whatever. The only weighted track chest accessory I'm doing right now is I'm doing chest flies on my second bench day because I'm doing a advantaged bench press lift where I have like shit range of motion, but I'm using maximal weights. So I just wanted to get some stretch in there. But my regular chest day, we're doing our 5x1 bench work, or 5-3-1 bench work, whatever the 5-3 or the 1 is. We're doing that for a few sets, and then we're just jumping into some full range of motion dips, you know, getting a full deep stretch contraction, body weight only, and getting like 15, 20 reps. Same thing. Then we do some deficit push-ups. I'll either use these rings right here and do some ring push-ups, which is awesome, or I'll just grab a purple block or a pair of dumbbells and do some deficit push-ups and get a little bit of an extra stretch there. And then again, just doing the 15, 20 push-ups, slow and controlled, and I'm getting crazy soreness on my chest, but I can also put maximal effort towards the bench press, really. You know, that's kind of the main point of it, is to dial in the volume primarily for the bench press, because we don't care about getting our incline dumbbells stronger right now. We don't care about, you know, even getting our chest fly stronger. It's just to keep the pump going, it's to keep the stretch going, and it's to not overexhaust the chest because we want most of the strength and the recovery to go towards bench press work. So that's kind of the plan, is to minimize the program as much as possible to find the sweet spot, not just for chest, for other muscles, but we're talking about chest today, but this will be for every other muscle group, of course. But yeah, these are the main strategy I have for trying to PR my bench press, because we are currently on the road to 315 bench, people. Road to 315. It's coming. Maybe not this year, maybe not in 2024, but I think we can at least crack 300 pounds in 2024 at the very least. And then by 2025, I think we'll have 315 bench on our sites for real. So that's going to do it for today, people. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys can learn something from this. And yeah, I'm going to go hit arms. So boom. See ya.